Dr. Sloper could be a cartoon villain.
I wanted to hit him.
Take a whack at him like you. Let's line up Vita and Dr. Sloper and just whack him.
To start the podcast. Dad, what's happening? What?
Bolt the door, Mariah. Bolt the door.
Dad, we're supposed to start the podcast. What's going on? Dad, let me in. Please.
All right, come on in.
That was good.
You gotta watch this movie,
dude. I mean, okay, no spoilers. Real quick, if you're new here, this is Movie Nights with Dad. My dad's an actor. We talk about movies, and we're gonna spoil this one. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It is so good.
What is it?
The Heiress, starring Olivia de Havilland, 1949. I just wanted to say that real quick in case anybody just randomly clicked on this, and I'm like, don't do yourself the disservice of watching this.
You got to watch the movie before you watch us.
Oh, I'm not even talking to the microphone. What is happening down here? All right. Hi, everybody. Oh, you know what? My laptop's turned around. Let me go fix that real quick. Jake, you can edit this in or leave it out. Our fantastic editor, Jake, will make this funny somehow, maybe. Maybe I'm talking him up and he's like, I'm not doing anything with this. Like you're just going to be there.
Warts and all.
Yeah.
Show it.
Yeah. I think it's funny. All right. Well,
here we are.
Well,
welcome.
If you're new here, like we said, this is Movie Nights with Dad. My dad's an actor. We talk about movies from that angle and all that stuff. And we have such a good time doing it. And we are working through August, which is our theme for this month is classic standout performances by women. And today we're looking at Olivia de Havilland in The Heiress. And this is such a good movie. And it's kind of a sleeper because you probably never heard of it before if you don't know much about like classic films, honestly. Even if you do know a lot about classic films, you may not have heard of this before. And so don't get it spoiled. Go watch it first and then come back here. But we're going to spoil the whole thing. But and if you're returning and you have watched it, you know exactly what we're talking about. And it's so good. So, but yeah, The Heiress, 1949, directed by William Wyler.
Yes.
Man, Dad, what do you think about this movie?
Can I tell my backstory?
Yeah, sure. I didn't know you had a backstory.
I do. I'm
pen pal. I didn't know you existed before being my father.
With Olivia de Havilland. Just kidding. When I was in college, and I've referred quite often to my cinema class, but I went where there was something called intersession and summer session. And for people who wanted to get their college finished, I'd already been to junior college, and I wanted to get finished quickly. So I took intersession and summer session. Well, little did I know, there aren't a lot of people who did that. Intersession and summer session.
Okay.
So a lot of my really good friends, why are you looking at it?
It sounds like a scam. Keep going.
No. Intersession is a quick, like having a quick semester. Summer session also quick, but just kind of an accelerated type thing. Yeah. But anyway, little did I know, it was summertime, college campus, everybody goes home, works at home, and no one stays for intersession, summer session. So I was very lonely because most of my friends lived in Chicago. I had found out through my cinema class that some people who also were part of my cinema class worked at a public television station. Okay. And there was just a very simple TV show on educational TV called Silent Screen Cinema, and all they did was show
just silent
old
films.
movies. No, it's what was it? No, I'm sorry, not Silent Screen Cinema, Silver Screen Cinema.
Ah, that makes more sense.
And they showed.
Why would they be silent?
They showed They probably did show Silence sometimes, but they showed really good old movies late on Sunday evenings.
Okay.
And
just like us.
Yeah, they came out not quite as early as we did. It was later on Sunday. Of course, when you're in college, you stay up all hours.
Yeah.
But I remember silver screen cinema being my only friend that summer. Not just kidding. I wasn't quite that pitiful.
Thing I've ever heard.
I wasn't quite that pitiful. Not quite. But anyway, that is one of the reasons that I discovered so many good old films.
Yeah.
And the first time I remember this, you guys are going to be like, this was a long, boring story. But I remember getting grant money for college, which is money that you don't have to pay back. And I got a big grant check. And of course, I had to pay my tuition and everything with it. But I had some extra money. And I remember going to the new Taco Bell and getting... being able to afford more than a college student usually would. I know you're fascinated by this story, but I went home. I had a great big soda fountain drink. I had the big nachos. Probably not. I don't think it was invented in the 80s. But anyway, I had my big nacho burrito, and I was just so content to have this fast food, which I normally did not buy.
Yeah.
And I went home, and it was after I had worked late, and I settled down in front of my tiny little black and white television with my Taco Bell, and guess what was on? The Heiress. And I'm telling you what, I was very good friends with the lady who worked the jewelry counter. I worked at the Big W, that rhymes with Paul Mart. And
we'll get demonetized if we mention them.
I'm sorry.
I don't think that's true.
It rhymes with whatever.
I think you can say Walmart. That's okay.
Yeah. But
the Big W.
I was very good friends with the jewelry lady that worked across the way from where I worked there.
Yes.
And I remember going.
And it was Olivia de Havilland.
It was Olivia de Havilland after her career was washed up. Wow. But anyway, I remember going to work the next evening and saying, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah.
This was a great movie. I'd never heard of it before, blah, blah, blah. And she was she was about my age, and she was very much interested. And of course, back then you can't say, go stream it, but back then you had to go find it somewhere, rent it or use your VCR to tape it, which, those bygone days. Yeah. Let's harken back. But anyway, the Heiress, I remember equating it with just a nice. I was so lucky to have gotten my grant money and see this great movie.
Real.
It was just a very satisfying memory. So when I settled down again, and I'll just full disclosure, I just watched this last night because I wanted to refresh my memory, because I've seen it. This is probably my 6th time watching it or more. Yeah. I've made everybody that I care about watch it. Yeah. It just has comforting memories. Yeah. Because of that. And I should have had Taco Bell when I watched it again. In fact, I want some Taco Bell right now, actually. So
sweet.
Well, that was my incredibly boring college story about watching The Heiress the first time.
Yeah, that's okay.
And really starting to be a big fan of
I'm just kidding.
You were
Sorry,
bored.
Keep going.
I just keep talking.
Yeah.
I remember starting to be a big fan of both Olivia de Havilland and Montgomery Clift, who is a very tragic figure, but great actor.
So no, that's such a college memory.
Did you like that story?
I did, actually, because
next time I'll tell you about when I bought ramen noodles. I bought 4 packs of ramen noodles for 50 cents once.
We'll save that hour for later. And I think we'll get into the.
I will never tell that story.
Get into this film, okay? But no, that's so real, because many of my college stories were like that, where it's like I had a free night and we sat and watched a movie and it was awesome. Like it's like you just many of your best memories are that. Yeah. But cool. Well, some background into this. 1949, William Wyler. Olivia de Havilland kind of drove this film into existence.
Yes.
Is how I kind of understood it when I was reading about this. She saw the Broadway play.
Yes.
And called William Wyler directly.
Immediately.
Told him to see it, acquire the rights, and then make a screen adaptation for it with her in it. And of course, he agreed.
She wanted to play the part.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, who wouldn't? And she has the talent for it. She nailed it.
Yeah.
But yeah. And, but despite critical acclaim and 4 Oscar wins, which is wild, including Best Actress, of course. But this film was kind of like a box office flop a little bit.
Oh yeah. Cause it was not, it was not part of the palette of America at the time.
Yeah. Well, it didn't even it cost $2.6 million to make, and it only made $2.3 million. So I mean, they came out in the red after this from the box office, which is so interesting because it's like one of the greatest American films of its era, genuinely.
Yeah,
and it's so funny because I know movie buffs. I know people who are more into movies than me, other than you. But like, I've never heard of this film, and it's crazy that I've never heard of it because it's so good.
I'm so glad you liked it. Every time you watch something that I love, I'm just like, yeah, that boy has good taste. I raised him right.
I mean, I did come from you, so that's probably what happened. But
no, you just feel good when somebody likes something that you love, especially if it's old. Because I mean, I can't tell you how many times you guys growing up, all of your brothers and sisters, like, oh boy, Dad, oh my gosh, so late, like I don't like it.
Maybe a little bit. That's okay.
Anyway,
a
lot.
But yeah, what? So you had seen this before. Is there anything like new you picked up coming in, like watching this for the podcast, or anything that stood out to you this time?
Well,
or were you just excited to see this?
I had never paid too much attention to Miriam Hopkins, who played Aunt Pennyman.
Yeah, right.
What's her name? Lavinia.
Yeah.
I had not paid as much attention to her. I knew a little bit about Miriam Hopkins, but I noticed when I watched it last night how invested she was.
Yeah.
And really somewhat, living somewhat vicariously through Catherine.
Yeah.
She'd been married to a minister who had passed away, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was married to a minister.
Yep.
I think she was kind of a wild child who was, like
back in the 1800s.
Yeah. A wild child from the 1800s, who was wanting to kind of break free of some of the social norms. And so she was, I had not paid attention to how deep her character was, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
She was not just a little surface level supporting player in the film. So her importance to the story, I had not looked at as closely as I did last night.
Yeah.
So anyway,
no, that's good.
I don't mean to single out performances because hers was not, of course, the biggest or anything, but her contribution to the movie was a lot bigger than I had originally noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of, that's such a good point. I think with a film like this, when I'm watching it, I'm talking about like what I expected going in. I immediately sit down and I go, all right, this is a movie from 1949. And then I sit down and I go, oh, it's a movie from 1949 doing a period piece about like 1850. 1849. Yeah. 100 years ago.
100 years ago.
Yeah. And so like, I go, all right. So it not only do I have to kind of think about the societal conventions of 1949, I now have to think of what people in 1949 thought about 1849. And I have to be like, all right, what are the societal, there's this extra layer that you have to go through.
And most of them had no clue.
Right. And that's the thing is like, most of the time in those films, you kind of expect it to be like, all right, I'm going to slog through this, right? I'm just going to get through it, stuff like that. This one breaks down all those barriers.
Yeah.
This one it has you hooked from the beginning to end, in my opinion. Because I just think that you just connect with the characters right away, not only because of the writing, and the pacing, which was perfect, but also because of the performances. Everyone was so perfect for their part. Everyone nailed it. I think that, man, it's just... it was so good. It surprised me how good I thought this was. I didn't, looking at the poster, looking at all the, like the beginnings of it where you're like, oh, this is an old movie about an old movie. And then you just kind of go like, oh geez, this is going to be a minute. Even if I did like it, it's still going to be like, all right, I have to kind of put down some of my expectations. It's like, no, really, really good. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. I wanted to talk at length about how much I love this movie.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. Was Morris genuine? Why or why not? That's the big point of contention. Let's get right into it. What do you think?
See, I tried to tune into him, especially this movie, especially in the second, when he comes back the second time.
Yeah. When
she runs up the stairs to get his wedding gift, which we'll have to talk about that in a minute. Hopefully we'll remember to.
Yeah.
I looked at his face, and he did such. I think the whole allure of the movie is to keep you guessing, and you really don't even know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is kept ambiguous, and it's so good.
You know, you would expect him, when she ran up the steps, when he turned around and looked around the house, and be like, and have kind of a little, but he really didn't.
No.
He looked around at the house, but he had no like, haha, look what I've done.
Yep. It was this sincerity.
Right. And the same thing when they met in the rain, and she said, I am not going to forgive my father. So it doesn't matter if he disinherits me or not.
Yeah.
And you look on his face, you look again, and you're thinking, okay, is he worried for her? Is he worried that, you know, he had a legitimate worry. He had no means. So I think it was okay to an extent to be like, you have a little money for us to start our married life. However, I plan to do something. I plan to maybe use some of that money to open a business, and then I'll take care of us. You don't know. And so Montgomery Clift, who hated his performance so much so that during a premiere he got up and walked out. Did you hear about that one?
No.
He hated his performance so much, was stressing over his performance, would pace around when they were shooting the film and just fret about his performance.
Wow.
It was so spellbinding, the way he had very little very little committed response, I guess is what I'm trying to say, to anything she said. You just don't know. So you're asking me, was he genuine? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know either.
And I think you're not supposed to know.
No, you're not. No,
because you're going to have
people.
people, and I would love if we had a whole gob of people watch this film
and like vote.
Well, either that, or I'd like to hear people's reasons. I'd like to hear people say, I think he was genuine and here's why.
Yeah.
And I don't think he was genuine, and here's why. Of course, the easy answer is, heck no, he was a big shyster, and that'll make you feel good about the fact she locked him out at the end.
Yeah, but you don't know.
You just don't know.
So
you can't commit.
Gun to your head. If you have to pick one or the other, which one are you landing on? Like, you have to.
I'd love to say that I'm such an optimist and be like, oh no, if I had a gun to my head, I would say, yeah, he's a shyster.
Yeah.
Because and I even try to look in his desperation at the end. But is his desperation because he has squandered his last money to get back home from California? And he's not going to have anything now?
Yeah.
Gosh. He was not proven to be dishonest.
No.
His sister did not prove him to be dishonest. His sister just said, he was kind of a dreamer. His sister said he took in life's experiences and traveled Europe. The fact that he had the fancy gloves proved nothing.
Yeah.
He could have had an issue with spending money. You don't know if he bought those gloves.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Who bought the gloves for him? Somebody might have bought the gloves for him.
Yeah. Well, where are you landing? To pick one.
You're saying if I had a gun to my head, I would say he's a shyster.
Okay. If it gun to my head, I think he's genuine.
Oh.
And here's why I want to believe he's genuine, because I think the version of the story, and I know that part of the story is the fact that you don't know. Like that's part of the story. But the version of the story in my head where he is genuine is so much better because you go like, oh, it's this either way, it's this huge tragedy. But like, man, the ending is so devastating if he's genuine. You know what I mean? Like, and I kind of want it to be devastating because that's how it feels when she sits there and she goes like, I mean, we just talked about it. There's so many devastating lines in this movie where she sits and she goes like, you know, I was trained by masters, you know, stuff like that. And you're like, that gave me goosebumps. I was like, oh my gosh. I
want to talk about a couple of heartbreaking,
please.
Well, eventually, but
okay.
I want to ask you if you're picking that, argument,
okay. Yeah.
How do you explain that he disappeared after he learned she'll lose her inheritance?
I think that's the only one where you go like, oh man, you can't really get around that. That looks like you're just leaving because she lost the inheritance. That's the one. But what my thing is, he cared about her so deeply that he was willing to sacrifice himself and his own and their relationship so that she could still be with her father.
But what did he say that he had done while he was in California? I worked on a boat or something.
It was very ambiguous, which is also...
Yeah, but he worked at some kind of, you know, just like menial job. Yeah. So you could say he went off to try to get something started to where he could take care of her.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he did, but I think it was really more of like he left because he didn't want to do that to her. And then he just wrestled with that for like a year.
Yeah.
And I think that when he finally decided to come back, he was like, I just need to come back. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe that just so happened to align with her father's death and the fact that she has all the money now and everything, and she still has the inheritance. But yeah, no, I think it's such a fascinating character study. It's a fascinating, you know, acting performance by, oh my gosh, Montgomery Clift. And is it Cliff or Clift? Clift. That's right. But yeah. So then with that, who is ultimately to blame for Catherine's decision at the end, and why?
I always blame the parents. I pointed at you and said, you always blame the parents.
Not in the last episode.
I always blame the parents.
Yeah, you do.
Unless it's me
as a teacher. Yeah.
Unless you're blame. I always blame parents.
Yeah.
If you look at how how Dr. Sloper reacted to her, hello, Catherine. Good morning, Catherine. You know, all this. And for a moment you think, well, you know what? He's pretty good to her. He loves her. When she walks in that dress and he gets up and looks at her, for a moment you think he thinks she's beautiful.
Yep.
He thinks,
but
you know, but you don't wear it the way your mother did, you know, and his response to her is so European and so non-committal and so stiff upper lip. Huh?
European?
Well, like English, like, I'm not going to say anything unpleasant, although I will imply it. So if you're offended by it, then you're offended because you're offended, you know, or whatever. His emotional cruelty to her is extremely subtle.
Yep.
Until he just breaks down and says, I'm forced to tell you this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But it's like that. The cool thing about Olivia de Havilland's performance is she feels like she's carrying this huge load, like the entire, like this heavy weight, the entire film. Yeah. And it is, she even like, I think I looked it up. I think it's a fun fact that I wrote down that she went to like a makeup artist to specifically accentuate the bags under her eyes and things like that. And it was like that because that is so needed.
Because she's very beautiful.
She is, yeah.
And so that alone should have won her the Oscar because she just played that so well.
Yeah.
Her story reminds me somewhat. I mean, I'm kind of a president, first lady biography nut. I've been I've been that way since I was 8.
Yeah.
And one of the heartbreaking stories in history is that of Eleanor Roosevelt, who was this hardworking first lady, but she was not an attractive lady, kind of buck teeth. her mother was a great beauty of the time. Her mother was not good to her.
I didn't know that.
Her mother called her granny growing up, was not good to her. And then her mother passed away. But she was always growing up in the shadow of, and Mrs. Sloper was apparently a great beauty.
Yeah.
The love of her father's life.
Right.
I would love to know some of the backstory. How did her mother treat her when her mother was alive?
Yeah.
Most likely.
Died in childbirth.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. Well, there
That's
you go.
Why.
There you go. So she's just living with the memory of her mother, like from what people have told her.
Yep.
The memories they have told her.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm reminded of how that's such a weight on someone. The heartbreaking. Can I go ahead and talk about the heartbreaking things? Some of the heartbreaking things, and this is probably the second thing I noticed watching the movie again, was how little moments were so sad when Morris dances with her. She is so used to getting people to dance with her and then abandoning her. Yeah. And so when she's had such a nice time dancing, I'm going to cry. Yeah, she's had such a nice time dancing with him, and he says, "I'll go get us something," and she says, "Oh no, please." I'm like, that just kills you.
People usually just use that as a way to get out.
Just abandon her and they don't come back. And that just
heartbreaking.
That was, and then
she sees him holding off on the side. She's dancing, and she's
like, "This is really happening."
Yeah.
The second time that I thought was really heartbreaking was when Morris was coming to ask for her hand in marriage. And she rushes back in and she says, "Father, I hope it will not hurt you, or it wouldn't hurt you too much to praise me and talk well of me."
That was horrible.
I hate that.
Oh my gosh. The fact that a daughter would have to ask her father that.
Yeah. Even though he wasn't in your face cruel to her a lot. But just in his little snaky,
just dismissive.
Yeah, he just treats her like a huge disappointment. She's known it her whole life, and
I think psychologically, it was the fact that he was too selfish to bear the weight of his wife's passing, and so he lopped that onto Catherine,
right?
Just unconsciously,
right.
And it just loaded that onto her, and I don't even think he really even thought about that. I think it was instinctual, but he just did it. But oh my gosh, Would you please praise me? That was heartbreaking.
Exactly. And I think so much of poor parenting, dysfunctional parenting, is fear-based.
Oh yeah,
because you are so afraid that something you did or something you didn't do is going to negatively affect your child, because you do love them so much.
Yeah.
You really want the very best. I can see why Mildred Pierce treated Vita the way she did. I can see, I can't understand the cruelty, because I've always felt like kids should be built up, but I can understand the fear-based decisions, the fearr-based feelings that parents have.
Yeah.
And I don't want to keep talking about this because it's going to be painful.
No, you're good. I think this even goes from the place of just poor parenting to like total emotional manipulation and abuse. Like really, it is abuse.
Yeah.
Like
because I think he thinks if I get her to do exactly everything I want her to do,
she'll be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we talked about the relationship between Catherine and her father. At the end, like we talked about who's to blame for her decision. What do you think she should have done at the end?
I could tell you what I think. Again, I'm going to go, they could have all done just a little bit.
Yeah.
If I think Dr. Sloper had a moment where he thought, what have I done? Maybe. Maybe.
When he was sick and she was telling him off.
Just for an inkling.
Yeah.
If you watch him really closely.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So what could he have done right there? He could have laid it all out there and said, I've done a horrible thing and now I can't make it up to you because I'm dying.
Yeah.
And that would have been okay. I think if Morris had come in and said, I'll tell you why I went away. why didn't he?
He was so ambiguous about it.
Why didn't he?
It was weird.
You know?
Yeah.
And
well, no, he said the reason I went away is because I didn't want to break up your relationship with your dad. That's why. Like,
and right. And and you don't know why.
Yeah.
Is it because you have a chance to live a wonderful life with this money you're never going to have to worry about when he passes away? Or is it because,
yeah, I think it's so funny. I'm just thinking about this now. Like, I think this film really says more about you as an audience member than it does about and how you interpret it.
What your background is.
Yeah,
exactly.
Man, it's like if you,
yeah.
Oh yeah. There's so many different ways you could see it.
I have a family that's coming to my mind right now that I knew way back when. And the father was extremely controlling. And both the kids and the mother were always very sullen. Always looked unhappy. Always looked unhappy.
Man.
And almost snooty. And I remember going back, I'm not going to say too much, but I remember encountering this couple years later. The kids were grown and gone. And the lady got out of her car and she said to me, "I haven't seen you in so long. How are you?" And was so friendly to me and like really glad to see me. And I wanted to say to her, I didn't think you ever liked me.
Yeah.
And then her husband comes up because he wasn't there. And he came up, her demeanor changed. And I'm like, how sad.
That is so sad.
That this woman, and so you just see when you have such a controlling, again, I'm not going to talk about this too much.
Yeah.
But you have a controlling presence.
Yeah.
And everybody just sort of
especially in a parent.
Acquiesces, is that the word? To that person.
Man.
It's
just yeah, because you're making I don't know, if you really love someone, you don't want them to shrink when you're around.
No.
You want them to bloom and become more of what you already love about them,
Right.
So yeah, that's so sad. But yeah, I think so. What do you think Catherine should have done in the end? Like, I don't know what she should have done. Like in that situation, like you said, everyone should have done a little bit more. Like, I think that maybe if she pressed Morris and was like, "You shouldn't have left me," and really pressed him about that and was like, "Why did you leave? Like, I don't believe this. Like, why? Explain to me why you're not just here for my money," all that stuff. And I guess that didn't really happen.
You wouldn't have had any, it would have just been another story.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm talking more of like as if these were real people.
Yeah.
What they should have done. But like, yeah, for the story, it was so good.
In the end, I think, if she'd had her chance to say, I'm going to tell you what you did to me, how I felt, and I'm going to give you a chance to explain. Everybody needs to be able to talk things out.
Yeah.
You can't hold grudges. You can't,
Yeah.
and so I just think that everybody should have had their moment to talk.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work out. But it was a more impactful story and brilliant movie because of the choices that they made in the film. But you still, in my mind, I always try to get a happy ending. So I'm thinking, well, Morris was still alive. Catherine was still alive. Let's say they ran into each other a couple years later and had a chance to talk again. It was the only love she'd ever known.
Yep.
The only love she'd ever known, other than what she was getting from
her aunt.
And
even then, like she still kind of believed what her father did.
She was kind of surface level.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, great. Is there anything else you want to talk about with the story and stuff? Because there's so much we could talk about. I was going to move on to if you directed it, but is there anything else you want to talk about in terms of just like the story or the themes or anything like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we could constantly sit here and argue.
I know. Yeah, for real. Yeah. But I think that, I don't know. Yeah. I think I pretty much said everything I wanted to say.
Yeah.
This story is so complex and interesting. You could talk at length about it forever.
Yeah. I will ask you this. Do you think Catherine, it would have completely changed the story if she'd had a father who was encouraging? Of course.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, so, what's so interesting to me is that it's kind of framed that Catherine is kind of the ugly duckling, and that most people don't really seek her out. And it's like, I think, so we talked about Olivia de Havilland is a beautiful woman. And I think the fact that she played this role, the reason most people don't seek out Catherine is because of what she believes about herself. And then what she believes about herself is externalized by the way she carries herself and the way she is. And that may come across as like not as attractive because there's zero self-esteem, zero confidence in anything, you know, and then so you really pity her, but like that, it's like, the reason men aren't approaching her is because of what she thinks about herself, which is because of her dad. Yeah. And so it's like her dad's emotional abuse is the reason why she doesn't have any suitors. And because it is externalized out. Yeah. And Morris kind of, he's either a shyster or, you know, he's, sees right through it for who she really is. I don't know.
And when you have a parent who's watching every little move, you don't think anything you do is right. Yeah. Of course you can't carry on a conversation with someone, you know, or think that anything you say is engaging or, you know.
Have zero self. You don't think anything of yourself. You think you're down here. That's not good. Like you can't live a normal life that way.
So I think we agree that we all feel sorry for Catherine.
Of course.
Regardless. Yeah. I am glad in the end that she has become a stronger person.
In some sense.
She's very much able to portray the fact that her father is gone now and this weight has been lifted from her and she's freer. She's enjoying her cousin's kids.
Or has it just manifested in a new way? That weight, you know, like, because if Morris is, that's what I'm saying. Like if Morris is genuine, that weight is manifested in her cynical nature, you know, like, anyway, sorry.
And
it's
this,
so good.
Viewers, is what makes a psychological drama a psychological drama. Yep. All of this angst and this, I don't know what's going, you know, that's it.
So good.
That's why it's brilliant.
So good. All right. I've said it several times.
Yeah.
Let's move on. If you directed this, what's one thing you change about this perfect movie?
You know, I just wonder if we could have had a little more conversation between Aunt Pennyman and Morris, maybe a little bit more. Oh, okay. It probably would give us a little more information about what makes Morris tick. Maybe it would help us make up our mind whether he was genuine or not. It could also make things worse, could further muddy what is already muddy. Yeah. So I don't know. I just don't think that you can do a whole lot. It's really a lot like All About Eve. It's almost perfect dialogue and closely calculated interactions between characters. Yeah. Just all of it.
Man.
So
perfect movie. I wouldn't change a thing, really. But if I had to pick something, I think we could give Catherine more time before Morris shows up. Yeah, to kind of give her a chance to develop who she really is, so we can see that. Then I think her coming out of her shell with Morris, it hits a little harder because you have the stark contrast, and I think that arc. And then the arc at the end would hit even harder if we just had a little bit more development with her at the beginning. Right. But really, I think it was great. I think what we got is what it needed. Yeah. So
that's just what the film wanted to be.
Yeah.
You know, it wanted to be one that you just don't really figure it out.
Yeah. Which is, I love that stuff.
Yeah. And that makes you feel like you can see it 14 more times and still not.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
You know,
it's so good.
So, yep.
Cool. All right. Well, let's get into the acting. We've kind of talked a little bit about it, but I want to hear like your breakdowns of each actor and stuff.
Olivia de Havilland, of course, she has won 2 Best Actress Oscars. She's famous for Gone with the Wind, which she didn't win an Oscar for, but she has, because she was famous from Gone with the Wind, she is well known for playing gentle heroine type ladies. This role for her was an enormous emotional range. Timid innocence, wide-eyed to just that icy. And when she deepens her voice, when she's talking to Morris the second time, Would that make you happy, Morris? There's absolutely nothing with that.
And you go, uh-oh.
Yeah. Would that make you happy, Morris?
Yeah, that whole second time meeting Morris, you kind of go, if you've never seen it before, like me, I'm sitting here going, what's about to happen? What's about to? And then I quickly pieced together, like, she's about to leave him. I didn't realize he was coming back to her house.
Yeah,
I thought they were going to try and meet somewhere, but like, oh, so good.
And at the point where he says, "Let's be married in a month," and she's like, "You're not as impetuous as you used to be, Morris." Mm-hmm. I mean, all of that was just brilliant. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know about Olivia de Havilland, but I don't know all of the background, but she famously sued Warner Brothers.
Oh, wow.
About contract disputes.
Okay.
And the suit was in her favor.
Oh, wow.
And it is called the de Havilland decision. And it was, I don't want to go into it too far because I don't know enough about it.
Sure.
But she basically caused the old contract system to kind of weaken.
Oh.
Actors had much greater freedom. I think it involved her going for another role with another studio, which was not done. I think she somehow sued for that.
Well, I heard about a lot of those old I keep hearing about a lot of these old contracts, and I'm kind of like, those don't seem fair.
No. So, and if a certain studio wanted to do a film, but they wanted a certain actor, the other studio had to loan them out, which sounds like commodity, like they're not even a person. It's like a piece of property or something.
Exactly.
Anyway, Montgomery Clift, he was pre Marlon Brando method acting.
You're right.
He is known for movies like A Place in the Sun, From Here to Eternity, Judgment at Nuremberg. Always very impactful performances. Very troubled person in real life. Reminds me a little bit of James Dean, although I don't know how troubled James Dean was. Okay. He was just wild.
Sure.
But Montgomery Clift had such a natural acting style. Olivia de Havilland is from that old polished studio. So is Miriam Hopkins.
Yeah.
So in this movie, his natural acting style really contrasts beautifully with Olivia de Havilland's style, which was also very real, of course. But I think the characters the acting lends itself to the characters and vice versa. Just fantastic.
Very good.
He was famously insecure about everything, which I'm like, dude, so I said he walked out of a premiere because of the premiere of this movie because he wasn't happy with how he looked and how he was coming across. And
wow.
Ralph Richardson was one of the greatest stage actors from Great Britain. I'm going to say the same thing I said about Vita with Mildred Pierce. Dr. Sloper could be a cartoon villain.
I wanted to hit him.
Take a whack at him like you. Let's line up Vita and Dr. Sloper and just whack him. He comes across as a character who genuinely believes that he is helping Catherine. He's convinced he's helping her.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
He comes across.
I get that.
He plays that character so complex. He's just fascinating to watch, even though you don't like him very much.
Yeah. Cool.
I said a little bit about Miriam Hopkins before. Mm-hmm. She's not referenced very much about this movie, but she really is an integral part of the story.
Yeah.
Without her, we wouldn't have a lot of the. Well, we need her in this movie.
Yeah.
With the way she's kind of acting as a bit of a matchmaker, pushing because I think she knows deep down how her brother is.
Yeah.
I think, and back then women did not stand up to men at all. Yeah. Plus, he's taken her in. He says to her, "Why don't you stay the winter with us? Could you do that?"
There's a power dynamic there.
Well, he has all kinds of money, like that. And she was married to a minister.
Yep.
So
not a lot of money.
Right. So there you go.
Cool.
How about your acting comments?
I have nothing. I just have my scene stealer.
Okay. Go for it. Who is it? Want to count to 3? 1, 2, 3.
Olivia de Havilland.
Yep.
Do you say Havilland?
Olivia de Havilland.
Havilland. Okay, I'm saying Havilland.
I don't think it matters.
you
Who
don't think it
cares?
matters,
Everybody
yeah.
knows who we're talking about.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I so obviously her whole performance is outstanding. I just wanted to point out how weathered she felt in this role. Like you could, I don't know. It looked like she had boulders on her back the entire.
You just want
movie.
something good to happen to her, you know?
It felt she drew in so much pity and like sympathy that man,
Yep.
So good.
And she's almost unrecognizable in the second part of the show.
Yeah.
She becomes more attractive. Although
they took out the makeup under her eyes.
Although I would not say she was beautiful when she became the new Catherine, but she was a handsome woman.
Handsome. Okay.
You know, yeah.
Well,
and I think, did you notice like
more put together maybe?
Yeah. If you know, well, has all that money now. Like she's at her disposal. She can spend it however she wants.
Yeah.
She's obviously making sure she's got the fancy dresses all the time, jewelry. Her hair's a little more done.
Yeah.
She looks her face looks a little more relaxed. I mean, when in the beginning, her hair's pulled real tight.
Yeah, and then she's like loosened
and
it up.
it's a little more, you know.
Yeah. Well, that happened after she
attractive.
came back from France. Like she like loosened up her hair a little bit,
and it's a little more. She's a little more attractive because I think she's had a taste of love. She's thought, well, you know what? Maybe men will notice me a little bit here. You know, she doesn't have that timid like. I think she thinks a little bit more of herself.
Well, I think it's also because her dad's gone and she's not being spoken that way, spoken to that way every day.
Definitely.
I think that's really the
Yep. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say.
Cool. All right. Casting swap for this perfect cast. Is there anybody you'd recast?
Not recast, but I mean, I thought. I'm thinking Laurence Olivier,
who
was
I've heard that name and I've
one
never
of the
seen
great
him.
actors of all time, who was married to Vivien Leigh.
Cool.
I think I would like to see him as Dr. Sloper. I've seen him play similar roles.
Okay.
And then I thought, you know, since I was thinking about him, what about Vivien Leigh for Catherine? Although she is strikingly beautiful.
Too much confidence.
She's a good enough actress. Well, she's a good enough actress. She could do it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm Olivia de Havilland, also strikingly beautiful.
That's true. Yeah. So I mean, she played.
You
it
know,
really
but
well.
just about any actress from the time. Could we see Barbara Stanwyck playing it? Yes.
Yeah.
Could, but boy, Olivia de
Havilland
just
has this depth that I think is hard to muster, and I don't know if I'm not saying those actresses couldn't do it, but I'm saying like I think it's her specific way of doing it was perfect for this movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of anybody else who I thought could play Morris. I mean,
I've got one. So I think Montgomery Clift was perfect.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that everybody in this film was perfect for their parts. And I think that in doing this, it's more of just a reimagining. And I picked, do you know Dev Patel?
Yes.
He was, I saw him in The Green Knight, which is like, I was an English major in college. So I'd read Sir Gawain in The Green Knight. And I think him in that movie was really good. I've seen him in other stuff. He's a little less like Montgomery Clift, like his face looks like a bunch of squares. Like he's very like got the jawline and just very strikingly like he's like a beautiful, like it's almost like his face was made in a factory or something. Like he's just, you know, and then Dev Patel, like I've talked about this before. There are some people who are that kind of beautiful where they're just very striking. And then there are people who are a little more like cozy beautiful where they're just they feel more settled in to like how they look and stuff. And he's got that more cozy, handsome thing going on.
Yeah.
And I think that he is the kind of actor you can relate to easily in any role. And I think it makes that sincerity that Morris has to try and it makes it harder to read because you go like, okay, is he being genuine or is this what's happening here? And I think he's also really talented and he can pull it off. Yeah. So, but yeah, that was my little casting swap for this one.
I also I thought about what you said about Michael P. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan.
B, yeah. B as in B.
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
Which made me think also of one of my favorite actresses, Viola Davis.
Oh, right, yeah.
Viola Davis, I mean, she's a little older.
Yeah.
She could still pull it off.
Yeah.
I wonder what it would be like because in The Help, she was kind of homely.
Well,
looking.
she's played this like beaten down woman. Like, yeah, right.
I thought about her though. But what about her? And then you've got like a younger, Michael B. Jordan or.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. No, yeah.
Might be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Because I never do modern day. I
always pick like the contemporaries.
The old guys.
That's okay. I think it's what you're more familiar with. That's all right.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else in the acting or anything else you want to talk about before we move on to our hot takes?
Well, we don't talk about theater lens too much about with this work on stage. I think we kind of threw that out, but this was a play.
Yes.
I've seen it done as a play. In this case, and I don't always say this, I liked it as a movie better.
Okay. Yeah. Why so?
I don't know. I don't know if it's because the camera can zero in on people. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe because this movie, this story really requires subtlety.
Yeah.
And you can't really get that on stage. It's hard to do that.
Yeah. I think that this movie also like longer scenes that you'd see on stage were left in the movie. And I think that's important.
Yeah.
You can sometimes notice movies get cut up a lot. Mm-hmm. This looks like a really good play shot through a movie camera, really.
Honestly, it does. Yeah. That's how it feels.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, here's my hot take.
Okay.
I don't even know if underrated is the right word.
Okay.
Because I think if you polled 100 people who weren't film buffs, no one will say, I've heard of that movie. If you polled 100 people who were film buffs and knew about movies, I would say maybe like 30% of them maybe have heard of this. Like, it is not that well known and it deserves to be. This is literally going on like probably one of my top 10, top 5, maybe even movies. Okay. I loved this so much.
Yeah.
I think, I could go on and on gushing about this movie, but I just think that the ending didn't feel like I was pandered to. Nothing in the story felt like they made the easy decision to make the audience happy. Right. They made the tough decisions to make a good story, which I think is so important to do.
And I think that's why this movie is timeless. Feels modern, still appeals to audiences today. And it actually has that in common with all these other movies that we've done this month.
Actually, yeah. We've picked some really good movies this month. This was, but yeah, that's my hot take. This movie is severely underrated and more people should know about it.
Yeah. So, I agree. Yeah. I picked, I always do defending the hated character. I think a lot of people, like if you said Dr. Sloper, oh my gosh, what a monster.
Yeah.
I wanted to unpack that a little bit. Okay. I think he's cruel.
Yes.
I think he's emotionally distant, terribly unfair to Catherine.
Yeah.
I also think that his summation of Morris, even though he could be wrong, is important. I think it's okay that he thought that.
Okay.
I think
giving him some freedom there, or giving him some license to think that. Okay.
I don't think that he ever set out to emotionally destroy his daughter by trying to help her.
Yeah.
He just didn't know how to help her. And in the process, he didn't realize how much he was hurting and destroying her.
Okay. Yeah. I could see that.
And really, Dr. Sloper became what he feared Morris was going to be.
Whoa, explain that. That's crazy.
I think he feared that Morris was going to completely control and manipulate Catherine to get what he wanted.
Yeah.
When Dr. Sloper did the same thing.
Wow. That's a good take, Dad.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah. I love that.
I mean,
it makes me mad, but not at you. So yeah,
I think that he completely,
yeah,
he was all the fingers were pointing back at him.
Yeah,
like
no,
that,
for real,
doing the same
yeah,
thing.
He, I never thought of it that way. He totally became what he feared Catherine would end up with.
Yeah.
And he
was
really just giving her an example.
She was already there.
Yeah. He was giving her an example.
No wonder he feared it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, man. And it makes you wonder how he treated his wife. Cause I know that he talks about her in this way, but it's like, I wonder what his wife would say about him. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if he maybe had the same kind of controlling, domineering atmosphere over her.
I bet not.
You don't think so?
No.
All right.
I think that he was all about appearances, and I think she was so beautiful, and he just celebrated her all the time. And she was probably devoted to him. Yep. If she'd been around still, and he had treated Catherine the way he treated her, which I don't think he would have, but let's just say he did, I think the wife would have been like, you misunderstand your father. She would have been a little bit like Ethel in On Golden Pond.
Right. And I didn't like that character either.
Like devoted to, you didn't like Ethel?
Well, she excused Norman way too much. Right.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
think that's what would have happened with Mrs. Sloper if she'd been around.
Yeah. All right. That's a good, I can see that happening. Yeah. Of course we don't know, but yeah. No. Man, there's so many what ifs with this movie. What if? Well, what if your double feature pick wasn't Gone with the Wind? And I would say, no way, Jose. You gotta, So I'm gonna, this is
You're not picking Gone with the Wind, right?
I am. I'm so sorry.
Are?
Yeah. Because okay, here's why I'm saying mine first, is because I know that you have this database of like really cool old movies in your head that I don't have. So I want to say mine first before you go like, maybe you can watch Gone with the Wind. And I go, okay, that's my only pick. Okay. But anyway, for a caveat, my little asterisk, like subtitle with Gone with the Wind is Gone with the Wind, more racist than you remember, because it's really bad.
It's really bad.
But when you look at the acting and the story and all that stuff, and you take all that stuff aside, which you can't, I understand that. But if you go back to the episode where we cover Gone with the Wind, I linked some professors and film historians talking about that movie who are way more qualified to talk about the racism aspects than we are. So go check that out. But the acting, Olivia de Havilland's in it. She's great. The story, the romance drama is very similar to this one. How it feels devastating at several points. The ending is left a little ambiguous, and you're kind of like, "Ooh, what's going on?" And it's not as ambiguous, but it's a little. It leaves you wanting. I think it's still got that tragic nature to it, and so I think it's a really good compliment to this one. So, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. No, don't apologize to me. I just picked better ones.
That's what I mean. Yeah, go ahead.
One of my picks was Rebecca from 1940, about 10 years before.
There were lots of Rebeccas in 1940. Who are you talking about?
Starring Joan Fontaine, who was Olivia de Havilland's sister.
Oh, cool.
And they were famously vying for leading lady status back then.
That's cool.
But Joan Fontaine and Laurence Olivier, and you don't know how much of it was press and how much of it was
exactly. Yeah.
Joan Fontaine and Laurence Olivier were in Rebecca, and that's kind of a gothic psychological drama.
Yeah.
In this film, Joan Fontaine's confidence is slowly dismantled.
Oh.
In the Heiress, it was already dismantled.
Right.
But
very
just
similar.
Another very similar. Yeah. And it'd be kind of fun to watch Olivia and Joan and
No, that's a cool pick.
Yeah, right. So then I also picked Gaslight, which is 1944. Yeah.
So I've heard of this because this is where the term gaslighting comes from.
Yep.
So
Ingrid
cool.
Bergman, Charles Boyer, 1944. It's just another psychological manipulation, emotional control, the whole bit. And then there's kind of a weirder. This is kind of a thriller.
Okay.
Very elegant psychological drama starring Deborah Carr, which she's probably somebody you don't know too much about, and I don't either.
Okay.
But I knew her as an older actress.
Yeah.
But she was in a movie called The Innocents from 1961.
Okay.
Again, it's kind of a thriller, but it's got that same emotional ambiguity.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know who's to blame for anything,
Yeah. Cool.
But anyway, those are mine.
Love those picks.
Yeah.
We got to include them in our list. We got to watch them.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Okay. I got a big thing to say here. I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. I don't really know what else you'd do with it.
Yeah. I gave it a 10 out of 10 too. I just think.
Hey, look at that.
I just think that it's emotionally devastating. It wears you out, but it's one of the greatest female performances in history
ever.
And it's just a hidden gem.
Yeah.
I like finding movies that people don't know a whole lot about. I've never heard of that. I never watched it.
Yeah.
And then people watch and go, oh my gosh,
This gave me the same feeling as when I watched About Time for the first time.
Oh, wow.
Which we covered.
That's a great compliment.
Which is, because I've often said About Time is my favorite movie, and it still is. But it gave me that feeling of like, everyone needs to know about this movie, and I will become insufferable by evangelizing this movie. Essentially, like, it's so good.
Yeah.
So
we have not been doing our final takeaways, but we have. I did. Have we said it? We have not.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure you didn't write this, did you?
What?
Sometimes the deepest wounds don't come from enemies. Did you suggest that?
No, I didn't write that.
Okay, well, I read this somewhere.
Okay.
And so this is someone else's words.
All right, cool.
Sometimes the deepest wounds don't come from enemies. They come from the people who claim they're protecting you.
Whoa.
And there you go. So this is really about how Dr. Sloper screwed up his daughter.
Yeah.
And he wanted to leave a legacy, and he sure did. As
a wound.
Yeah. So,
man, that's so good.
But I still think there's a happy ending down the road. I like to make the story happy whenever I
That's funny. You have to make yourself feel better about it. You're
definitely,
like, oh,
definitely.
Cool. All right. I said, like, okay, we talk about this a lot. People who are like, oh, black and white film, old movies. I would say this is for people who don't like old movies. This is going to make you feel differently about it. Yeah. This will make you give older movies a chance.
To be quite honest with you, I have not always loved old movies. Now, when I was growing up, we watched on Saturday afternoons and Sunday afternoons Abbott and Costello and Shirley Temple and a lot of stuff on KPLR and out of St. Louis. And they, we just watched them because they were fun and funny, and everything. But, it wasn't something that I was always drawn to.
Sure.
But as an older movie watcher, I got involved with, but I can understand people like, oh no, black and white. I understand, but I would behoove you to watch this and tell us what you think of black and white older films.
I love how we're looking at the camera. There's no way people are watching this without having watched the Heiress, which is so like we're trying to convince them.
Yeah, watch it. Well, then if you've watched it and you like it and you're going, yeah, as we're talking, then recommend it.
Convince other people to watch it.
And then while you're recommending, tell them to subscribe and like our.
What a great segue.
Yeah, there we go,
guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe down below. Go ahead and comment some stuff. Comment what you thought. So we asked all these questions to each other and we couldn't really find any answers. Comment what you think. Give us your take about this movie because I think it's it's almost like a cult classic in a way because it's such a hidden gem. I would love to know people's take on this movie. Yeah. Because I'm sure you've got something cool to say.
I just want to know if you think Morris is sincere or guilty.
Start with that. Cool. Awesome. Yep. So thank you guys. Next week we are finishing up I have to scroll back up to see the full title, but it's Classic Standout Performances by Women with Mrs. Miniver starring Greer Garson. Yeah, sorry. I struggle remembering her name because I've never heard the name Greer before, but it's interesting. Starring Greer Garson, Mrs. Miniver, 1942. And that'll finish up this month, August. Yeah. So thank you guys. I can't
believe it.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
And thank you, Dad.
Thank you, son.
Here. I love you.
I love you too.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.